Hey, it's Chris Ketchman 007, taking a look at the Hyperclick Retro Style mouse for the SNES. This is not the SNES Classic that's coming out later in 2017. This is actually, as far as I can tell, a mouse much like the original mouse for the Super Nintendo. This is just a modern replacement for it. So for SNES, 6-foot cable. I think the cable on this one is around 5 feet. This is the original one for Mario Paint. We'll compare those in a minute. Ergonomic. Yeah, I mean, it's references Mario Paint, and I think it's, like I said, pretty much just a modern reproduction that in case you've lost your original one or need a replacement. Okay, so here's the mouse, and I think is that really all that's in the box? Yep, that's it. Alright, so it's immediately a lot heavier than this one. This one, though discolored from time and a little bit banged up from use, this one's much larger, and actually you can see the shape. Perhaps this one's for a child's hand and this one's for an adult's hand. So it's kind of nice, although this angle is just immediately a little bit sharp. Perhaps it could have been, feel like, rounded out a bit more. I'm not saying that having a large design for like a palm grip is a bad thing. It's just this one is a bit sharp right here. It seems like on first grab here. No buttons on the side. This perhaps is the biggest improvement. We go from the ball to optical sensor there. There is some kind of button here. I'm not sure if that's a reset switch or changes the DPI. I don't know. And the box makes no reference to it, and there are no instructions. The port on the end, or the socket on the end, is pretty much the same. So, like I said at the beginning, it should work for SNES. And yeah, I think it actually, over time, I think this would be an improvement if you are still playing Mario Paint or another game on your Super Nintendo. Unfortunately, I don't have the trackpad thing, that plastic trackpad, mouse pad that came with this, to use it on that with, but other than that, pretty solid. I mean, literally feels much denser than this one. Like I said, it's not only feels heavier and is larger, but it feels denser and more solid. The clicking is a little bit better. You can, I think, hear that audibly. These feel like clicking on a mouse, like what you're used to. This feels like clicking, kind of like AB X or Y on a SNES controller, that kind of membrane underneath that clicks. That's sort of what this feels like. Anyway, other than that, some Hyperkin branding. Obviously, not an official Nintendo product, so no mention of Nintendo anywhere on the mouse itself. Yeah, that's about it. So I will give this a try. Alright, I've gone ahead and hooked up the original mouse here to Mario Paint, running on an SNES, so we can see how it compares to the new mouse. And I'm just using a standard kind of neoprene mouse pad here. So you can see it's still very much usable today. Just to give you an idea of distance the cursor moves for how far the mouse has to move. I should also mention Mario Paint does have settings for the mouse, but I have it set on the lowest speed, turtle speed, And I will maintain that through the second mouse so you can see how that works there. It's not perfect, but definitely fully functional. Okay, I've gone ahead and switched over to the new optical mouse. As you can see, it glowing on the bottom there. Again, same mousing surface and same settings within the game. The turtle speed has been selected. And this too is very functional. Perhaps it's a little too accurate. I don't know if the game has some kind of special drivers for anticipating the use of a ball-based mouse, but this still works if you need a replacement. It does seem more accurate, but again, I don't know if that's more of a detriment for a game that, for software that was never expecting something like this to be used. I will also show that I believe this button here on the bottom is a DPI switch after all. Let me go back to the marker here, and you can see about how far the cursor is moving in relation to how far the mouse is moving. And this is very unscientific. If we push that button, it seems like it's moving less. The mouse is moving less for about the same distance on screen. So that's moving from the left edge of the screen to the middle, which I'm using this orange dot as a reference point. And that seems like half an inch of mouse movement, maybe. And to replicate that after pushing the button, it's probably a whole inch of movement, so maybe doubles the DPI. Again, I'll try to look into this, but you do have the option, which is nice. And again, the mousing speed is still set to mouse, so mouse, turtle. So there you have it. I mean, it works as you would expect a mouse to work, though it does seem like it's too precise. That I'm having difficulty making minor movements. But again, that could just be my imagination. So, anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. Let me know down in the comments if you have any questions about the Hyperkin mouse. If not, I'll see you in the next video.